So a few weeks back, I was flipping through the scriptures and I decided to read some in Acts. Something caught my attention in a seemingly small and a trivial verse. This is from Acts 16:7. After they were come into Mysia, they essayed to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit suffered them not. I couldn't seem to get past this verse. It wasn't the locations or the people involved. It was that these men wanted to go one way, and God sent them the other way. This is the only verse that covers it. We don't know any more details as to why, but it didn't matter. They trusted God's direction and that it would lead to good. And that reminded me of one of my favorite verses. This is Proverbs 16:9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. Just a couple of quick examples from my own life. During my senior year of high school, I literally told my mom that I would move to Canada before I would ever join the military. I ended up enlisting a few months later, and I'm still in the Air Force today, 13 years later. Around that same time, I was dating a girl who I was sure that I would marry. That relationship ended pretty terribly, and we haven't spoken in years. And now I'm married to a woman that I couldn't dream of living without, and who serves God by my side. See, here's the frustrating part. It can take a long time to get to the big picture ending. And sometimes we don't even get to know the ending of God's purpose for something. But we have to just trust that God knows and that He has our best interest at heart. So I'm reading, and these thoughts are coming together that night. And then the next week, one of our elders in Herndon tips me off that our branch would have a lot of people out and that I should be ready to be called up front to speak. So I immediately knew that this was what I would speak on. That Sunday came, and so did an extra elder. So I was off the hook. I wasn't called up, and I just kept this message to myself. That brings me to my current testimony. Last year, my wife and I decided to have a child. Mary got pregnant in February, and we had 9 months to prepare. Well, once again, that was our plan, but God had a different one in mind. On August 18th, my wife delivered our baby at 26 weeks, which is 14 weeks premature. Our daughter Charity will spend the next few months in the hospital while she continues to grow. It was and continues to be the scariest experience that I've ever been through. But while we sat there in the hospital, these verses came to my mind, and I realized that this sermon was not for the branch, it was for me and Mary. So I sat down next to her in the hospital bed and related these thoughts to her. Once all this happened, our plans to be there at camp obviously changed as well. I had been asked to help teacher seminar with Brother Brian and Brother Tom, and I felt really bad not going. But even if I couldn't make it, I wanted to help. I was talking to Brian about plans for the seminar, and that was when it all clicked. Everything that we were and are going through ties in with the camp theme perfectly. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. All things. Charity continues to struggle each day, and Mary and I continue to struggle alongside her. We don't know why, but we trust that the trials of today are leading us in God's direction to fulfill His good purpose, and we praise Him for that.